What is happening, guys? It's Bharat Nagpal for iGandit and today we're going to be reviewing the new Apple iPad Air. Now, the iPad Air was launched last month in the US. It still hasn't reached India at the time of this review. So this review is based on the iPad Air, which was launched in the US, and we are looking at the Wi-Fi plus cellular unit. A lot has changed with the design and with the hardware on the iPad, and some of the things are similar to the previous generation of the iPad, which is the iPad 4. So let's start off with what all has changed. First of all, the iPad is much thinner and much lighter compared to the previous generation of iPad. In fact, the heaviest iPad Air weighs in at 478 grams, that's just a little over 1 pound, which makes it possibly the lightest tablet in the full-size tablet market. It makes it really easy and convenient to hold the tablet with one hand. The overall footprint of the tablet has also been reduced versus the previous generation. You have thinner bezels and a thinner rounded shape, which makes it not only look better but also feel good. Now, first impressions from the iPad Air is that it looks strikingly identical to the iPad mini, and many people who saw the iPad Air for the first time from a distance actually thought that it was the iPad mini. It's that much smaller than the previous generation and that much thinner than the previous generation. Now, Apple has also added a new A7 chip on the inside, which comes with 64-bit architecture, and iOS 7 adapts to this 64-bit architecture. The chipset also has an M7 Motion coprocessor, which essentially is useless unless you're going to be running with your iPad attached to your body somehow. Now, you do get 4G in the cellular variant, and you get international 4G, you get LTE bands and CDMA bands as well. You have Wi-Fi B, G and N, dual channel, and you also have MIMO and Bluetooth 4.0 on the tablet. As far as cameras are concerned, you have a front-facing 1.2 megapixel camera and a rear-facing 5 megapixel camera, which does full HD video. It also has video stabilization and face detection, tap to focus, all the standard things. Now, the speaker layout on the iPad Air has also been changed. So at the bottom of the tablet, you have built-in stereo speakers, which is something that everyone's been asking for since the first generation of iPad came out. So you have stereo speakers for the first time on either side of the Lightning connector. And you have dual microphones on the top of the tablet, so one at the back and one on top. And then you have the standard 3.5mm stereo headphone jack, which is also on the top of the tablet. Now, Apple has reduced the weight of the iPad Air by not only making it thinner and reducing the components, but they've also made it lighter by reducing the size of the battery. Now, the A7 chipset uses much less power compared to the previous generation, and therefore Apple claims that the battery life on this iPad is the same, and we found it to not be different from the truth. So we found that the iPad Air versus the previous generation iPad, which had a larger battery, ran for almost the same time with the same sort of tasks. So no complaints with that whatsoever. Now, apart from the fact that holding the iPad is much more comfortable, the smaller rounded edges, the overall shape of the tablet feels much better in the hand versus the pokey ends on the iPad 4th generation or any other generation before that. So definitely a big improvement in terms of handleability because it's lighter, it does not strain your wrists. It's also thinner in terms of width of the tablet, so you can actually hold it with one hand upside down as well. So you can grip it from either side. If you have larger hands like mine, you can grip it from either side and it won't go anywhere. So it's fairly comfortable to hold. Now, it is available in two colors, the space gray and the silver. I've got the silver over here. Like I said earlier, 4 capacities, 16 GB, 32 GB, 64 and 128 GB. Now, the display is the same display that we saw on the Retina iPad. So you have a 9.7-inch LED backlit multi-touch display. It does have IPS like any other Apple display, and you do have a 2048 by 1536 resolution, which gives it a 264 pixels per inch. Now, this is not the most high-res display that you'll get in a tablet, but it is fairly high resolution and it's really sharp and crisp, and you'll have no complaints from the display, even though you could have asked for a higher PPI on the display. But honestly, there are no complaints on the display, and it's one of the best displays on a tablet device that you can find. It's got great viewing angles and excellent color reproduction along with really high brightness. Now, that's talking about the hardware. Let's come into the crux of it and talk about the software and how it performs in day-to-day usage. So as far as iOS 7 is concerned, it runs beautifully on the new iPad. Not only does it look good, it is really snappy. Everything is seamless. Running through tasks and running through applications is as fast as ever. And we honestly faced no lag whatsoever in using the tablet over the days. Almost all apps on the App Store work seamlessly with the new iPad, and some apps, including those which have been designed for the 64-bit architecture, run exceptionally well. Now with iOS 7, the iPad also changes a bunch of things. Now that you get Pages, Keynote, and Numbers if you buy the new iPad, you can actually do a lot of office work on the iPad. So when you buy an iPad, you get these apps, and you get your Word documents on Pages, you get your Excel spreadsheets on Numbers, and you can make your PowerPoint presentations on Keynote, and you can actually import these files into these specific applications. And then your iPad can actually replace your laptop if those are the kind of things that you do on your laptop. If you're making presentations or spreadsheets, or if you're making documents, you can now do all those things on the iPad seamlessly without any issues. Thanks to the Apple TV, you can project it to a projector wirelessly. You can also connect it via the Lightning connector to an external display if that's what you want to do. But all these things really help you to replace your laptop and actually carry the iPad and use it as a office product or as a work machine versus just a content consumption device, which it had been for many years. Now, as far as content consumption is concerned, the iPad has one of the best displays, and the new speakers are definitely enhanced, so you get better audio from the speakers. So if you're watching movies or playing games, it is fantastic, and it's a lot of fun to work on the iPad, and just to like tap and play games. It's on a big screen, it's a lot of fun, it's right there in your hand. It almost replicates the feeling of playing on a console. It gives you that much feedback when you're playing games on the iPad. Now, Apple has built into this ecosystem really well. So if you have a Mac, and if you have an iPhone, and if you have an iPad, everything is seamlessly synced via iCloud. So you get your pictures everywhere, you get your email synced, you get your applications synced. So everything is in sync, all your documents are on the web. So if you're working on a keynote presentation on your Mac, you can sync it up to your cloud and it comes back on your phone. Now, needless to say, this is available on other devices as well. You can get it on Android, but you have to get third-party applications to do that. Everything from Apple is already built into this. So those things happen seamlessly, and it offers for a better synchronization between several devices. Now, that being said, you won't get the same features on, say, a Windows PC and an iPad. So if you're getting an iPad where you have a Windows PC, iCloud may not work for you, but then you have iCloud apps in the air. So you can actually make a Pages document on iCloud and then have it sync with your iPad. So you can use a Windows PC, but you don't have native apps on Windows. So that may be a restriction for many people. Now, of course, coming back to one of the most asked questions, now with the new iOS 7, the iPad also can make voice calls via FaceTime. So you can make FaceTime voice calls to other iOS devices, including iPods, iPads, and iPhones that are running iOS 7 and have FaceTime voice capabilities. So if you have an iPad, you can actually receive voice calls over FaceTime from another iPhone or an iPad or an iPod. You can also make traditional FaceTime calls, which are video calls, over the iPad, so that's also good. But the fact that you can make voice calls from the iPad is something unique, and it may come in handy for a lot of people. Using a Bluetooth headset, you can actually make FaceTime audio calls to a lot of people. Now, in terms of usability, the iPad seems to be the most seamless and the most easily integrated tablet out there. For build quality, it is one of the best built tablets, and it does not compare to any other tablet in the market at present. Of course, you have the Toughbooks and the rugged tablets. You also have the Xperia tablet from Sony, which is water resistant, but the fact that this uses premium quality aluminum and the design as such that as far as we are concerned, the premium feel and the build quality match together. The iPad is not being beat till date. To hold in the hand, the tablet feels really secure and feels robust, and it does not feel like a fragile little tablet. Although dropping it is not recommended, it feels that the tablet will be able to take a couple of drops without any issues. Overall, we feel that in terms of performance and in terms of battery life, in terms of usage and the new design, the lightweight features, and the overall feedback from multimedia experience, including gaming, watching videos, or even listening to iTunes Radio, the iPad does not compare with any other tablet. It's one of the best tablet experiences in the market. Now, all of this experience also comes with a heavy price tag, and the iPad is easily the most expensive tablet that is available in the market with respect to specifications versus price. But Apple also ties in a lot of ecosystem with their pricing, and in the long run, it may be actually worth it for a lot of people. For some, it may just be another expensive eye candy toy, which works either way. As far as we are concerned, this is the best tablet that you can buy if money is not a factor. If you're still worried about what is the best bang for your buck, you can wait for the Nexus 10, which is rumored to come out sometime later this month. So thank you guys for watching. This has been our review of the iPad Air. If you have any questions or queries, you can visit our review on iGyan.in. You can also get the best prices over there. You can also catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. And make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/iGyan, youtube.com/iGyanTV for iGyan Networks. This has been Bharat Nagpal. Thank you guys for watching.